with reports during the week on Shawn Michaels potentially leaving the company, including on the company's weekend TV shows and Hotline. Raw opened with Vince McMahon and JR clearing the situation, with Vince saying that Michaels is expected to be back in 4 to 6 weeks after knee and neck injuries, while Bret will be back in a few days. Also announced was a tag team tournament with the winner facing Austin and a partner of his choice if Shawn is not back in time. Austin walked to the ring moments later telling Vince that he doesn't want anyone. Mankind showed up on screen offering to be his partner. After not delivering the Austin vs Pillman last week, the match is scheduled for tonight with the Hart Foundation handcuffed at ringside. Austin hyped the match as Shamrock walked to the ring challenging Austin after taking a stunner last week. Austin agreed, saying that after he's done with Pillman he will get to Shamrock, with the announcers promoting an unofficial fight or confrontation between them for later. WCW started with one of the hottest atmospheres in history as the nWo limousine arrived in Chicago, coming out in full star power and cigars along with Dennis Rodman to the sold-out United Center in an all-time iconic entrance. Hogan and Rodman came out with the Michael Buffer introduction to a huge ovation from the Chicago crowd, coming just 3 days after the Bulls won their 5th NBA title in the same building. With the city already in celebration with the victory parade on the same day of the show, it was another near-record business night for the peaking WCW nWo with 17,000 people in attendance. Hogan and Rodman hyped the Bash at the Beach tag match against Luger and Giant, while saying that they don't want to wait until then and challenging Luger and Giant for the match in the main event tonight. Raw had Owen and Bulldog advancing in the tag tournament along with Shamrock hyping the confrontation with Austin later. After costing him the match last week, Dean Malenko called out Eddie Guerrero, instead getting Chavo for the match, with Eddie coming out later on the ramp with the plan to turn heel. The original plans for Raw had to be rewritten with 4 wrestlers involved in a car accident yesterday. The car rolled over with Seed, Flash Funk and the Can-Am Express tag team all taken to the hospital with different injuries and written off Raw. Lex Luger and Giant came out to respond to Hogan and Rodman's challenge. With Giant back from Germany, the Bash at the Beach match was officially signed, with them accepting the match for tonight, billed by the announcers as one of the biggest matches in the history of Chicago wrestling, set to be a preview for the pay-per-view in July with good timing for big media publicity for the show. Raw featured a unique match built as ECW vs USWA between Chris Candido and Brian Christopher, with Heyman on commentary making shoot comments on Lawler until he came out to interfere. WWF showed footage of the Hart Foundation from the weekend house show in the Toronto Sky Dome, with the entire group over big as babyfaces continuing to build the difference in crowds between countries. Speaking of crowd, there was a clear mismatch on the television presentation, with WCW coming from the big United Center with over 17,000 while Raw's broadcast was from the smaller Olympic Center in Lake Placid, creating a big gap in atmosphere between the shows. The second hour started big for both shows with the Wolfpac out for Syxx vs Rey Mysterio, going against the hyped Austin vs Pillman match on Raw. WCW jumped big with over 1.1 million viewers to 3.9 rating for the match and post-match segment. After constant interruptions from Hall and Nash, Rey made a big comeback on both until getting caught in a hold from behind. Post-match saw Nash and Hall cutting a promo on Piper and Flair after retaining the belts last night, bringing out Randy Savage a day after beating Page in the Great American Bash main event with Hall's help. Page showed up in the crowd challenging Savage and Hall, hinting at a mystery partner while looking at the rafters with a tease of Sting. WCW also heavily promoted a superstar debut on the June 30th Nitro show from Las Vegas, rumored to be either Kurt Hennig or Raven as the other two options for the tag. Raw peaked with a 2.9 for the second part of the Austin vs Pillman match, going 11 minutes along with the post-match Shamrock Austin confrontation. The Hard Foundation escaped from the ring posts attacking Austin, with Mankind, Goldust and the Road Warriors making the save, ending up with Shamrock slamming Austin for last week with them brawling in the ring. Setting up the 5-on-5 main event at the Canadian Stampede pay-per-view. Austin agreed to team up so he can get to the Hard Foundation in their hometown, with Owen and Pillman later responding in a promo with a hometown Canadian crowd expected on the show. WCW featured Chris Jericho vs Ultimo Dragon, with Raw having the continuation of the inter-promotional ECW angle minutes later, with Jerry Lawler and RVD teaming up against the Headbangers with Eamon and Dreamer sitting in the crowd, ending up with Sandman making a surprise appearance to attack Lawler and cost them the match. With Van Dam brawling with Sandman and Dreamer. Roddy Piper and Ric Flair came out for a promo minutes later, bumping WCW back to a 3.9 rating. The angle in the past month during their feud with the Outsiders was teased problems with both leading to a planned singles match at Bash at the Beach. The promo comes a day after Flair left Piper in the ring alone last night while brawling with Syxx to the back and not coming back to the ring. Piper came out for the explanation saying that he went backstage and Flair was already out of the building. Flair said that he was in a fight back there with them shaking hands to continue the gradual build-up to the match. After that, WCW had Mongo and Jeff Jarrett against Norton and Bagwell going 7 minutes, with Mongo over big as a Super Bowl champion in Chicago turning on Jarrett to a big pop. Raw's main event tag of Farooq against Undertaker and Ahmed Johnson saw Farooq unveiling the two new members of the New Nation. First was the return of the former Papa Shango and future Godfather teaming up with Farooq in the match. With the second member still unknown, the match went 6 minutes with beating Taker clean in a surprising finish. After the match, Ahmed Johnson powerbombed Taker to turn heel and join the group to close the show. The hyped WCW tag match peaked the night with a 4.1 rating, ending up with Hogan and Rodman luring Luger and Giant out until the nWo came out for one of the best heat segments of the year. Rodman hit Giant with the belt before dropping elbows on him to a massive reaction from the crowd. with the ring filled up with stuff on a level perhaps only second to the night Hulk Hogan turned heel last year. Footage from this and the opening segment got big mainstream coverage, being replayed on ESPN, CNN, Fox and numerous entertainment news shows during the week. The nWo at its peak with the full crew posed in the ring to end one of the hottest shows in company history.